But today, man, we start out, first of all, with some sad news. And I got to pay homage, Bradley, before we even get started, to a great man, Pat Patterson, passed away a couple of days ago. And I tell you, man, Pat meant a lot to the business. Pat meant so much to so many people. Pat Patterson, trailblazer, man. Talking about a guy that knew all about Shakespeare, Romeo and Juliet, Phantom of the Opera. I always say Pat Patterson was a guy that could have performed in any era. Literally, he could have. That's how fast his mind was, as far as detail, as far as the game really goes. I want to say thank you to Pat Patterson for what he did for me, bringing me into the WWE family. I remember Pat Patterson producing a lot of those matches with me and The Rock, and me and a lot of men Christian, no matter who it was. And I remember Pat Patterson always, saying, why are you so hard to work with? Because I would make it so easy for him, man. I would try my best to make it an easy night for Pat, man, and him in that Canadian accent, man. Why are you so hard to work with? I'll miss Pat Patterson. I love Pat Patterson. I'm not going to say I loved Pat Patterson. I love Pat Patterson. And he's definitely going to be missed. And brother, may you rest in peace.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, his credentials speak for himself. The first intercontinental champion ever, the man who invented the Royal Rumble, which his pitch was, what if you had a battle royal in reverse, right? I think that was a great idea that now is one of the biggest nights of the entire wrestling calendar is the Royal Rumble. We just had it in Houston, Texas this last year. Yeah. So a lot of cool things with that. I only got to meet Pat one time. And it was actually a memorable time for you as well, because that was when we were walking out of the Toyota Center one time, and I stopped and I wanted to introduce myself to Pat Patterson, and I wanted to introduce myself to Chris Jericho, and I was talking to them for a second, and that's when the three of us got to witness your bump off the hoverboard.
I knew you was going to bring that up, man. I knew you was going to bring it up.
But that was what we got to witness, and that's my memory of Pat Patterson, is me, him, and Chris Jericho laughing after we made sure you were okay when you took your bump off the hoverboard in the Toyota Center.
Nah, man, he was a good dude, man. Pat Patterson, like I say, man, a trailblazer. He was a guy that had the respect of all the boys. He was the guy that you went to as a mentor and say, hey, Pat, what do you think about this? You know what I mean? And Pat would go, yeah, I like that. You know what I mean? Smoking that cigarette, it goes, but, what if you did it this way?
That seems to be the rap on him. Also, like, I always hear that he was one of the best finish guys in the history of the business. If you couldn't think of how you should finish the match, you go to Pat Patterson. He's got the best idea.
Yeah, seriously, man. He definitely, he was a guy that was, that guy in so many people's lives throughout the years. Pat Patterson, there again, he gave so much to the game in the ring, but I think he gave more outside of the ring than anything, man, because there's so many guys that's going to be telling these same stories that I'm telling right now about Pat. Telling, oh man, some of the jokes, man, Pat would tell, man. And, oh man, he'd have you laughing like crazy, man. And one of my favorite, when is this nighttime? It's nighttime. It's nighttime radio. Well, one of my favorite jokes I remember hearing Pat tell was it was Charmel and I. And he got a joke for you. I got a joke for you. He goes, guy goes to the doctor to get his prostate checked. And, and it's his first time doing it. And he's relatively nervous about it. And the doc said, don't worry about it, I'll take care of you. And he takes him into the rooms, and then, he takes the glove, and he put the lube on. He tells the guy to bend over, and he checks him, and the guy goes, oh man, it really hurt, man. It really hurt, And, and next year, the guy had to come back again, and he had to check his prostate again. He goes, man, that really hurt, man. And and trust me, I know what it's like to have to, go and have something like this. It's just totally intrusive. And he goes back to the third year, and he asks his wife, should he go back to the same doctor? But he goes, no, he's great. You should go back to him. He's been great for the last couple of years. And he goes back to him again. He goes, he checks him the third time, and he goes, doc, I mean, your ring is killing me. And the doc say, it's not my ring, it's my watch.
Was that the way that Pat would deliver it?
Yeah.
It's not my ring, it's my watch.
It's not my ring, it's my watch. And then he would start laughing so hard. Because, no, man, Pat was like the biggest jokester, man. We had so much fun, man, around Pat Patterson, man. I have nothing but the fondest and greatest of memories being around Pat Patterson, man, because he was just that guy who always was there to do one thing more than anything, and that was his job, man. That was to go out there and perform at the highest level when he did it, and then when he was passing on the knowledge to the young guys, he was passing it on. And for me, to be one of those guys on the road, working 200 days, plus, close to 300 days a year, man, you got to have somebody out there making you laugh and everything, level, because it could get really rough. And I don't remember as many years as I knew Pat Patterson. I never saw him in a mood where it wasn't positive or constructive and a smile on his face. I never saw him out of all these years. And I just think about that now, that he was always a guy that was just happy to still be a part of the game, man. Happy to still be able to, there again, pass the torch, to the next guys coming up. Awesome dude.
Yeah, bless him. Guys like that are few and far between in any industry, let alone the professional wrestling industry. And to think about all the years that he had seen, and this was funny, he and Gerald Briscoe, I think
Mr. B. That's what I call him,
Mr. B.
Yeah.
Mr. B.
Yeah.
Him and Gerald Briscoe, when they were the Stooges for Vince, it was great. They were great on-screen characters, and I think that up until a few years ago, and I could had this wrong, but I remember reading that they had the highest-rated segment of Monday Night Raw ever for several, almost decades. When they fought one another, I think they were dressed in drag or something like that, and they fought one another on Monday Night Raw in a hardcore match for the title. And that was the highest rated segment in Raw history for a really long time, which I'm sure was to the pleasure and dismay to them both, that them dressed in drag as old men was the thing that everybody wanted to see. But just another credit to Pat and his ability to give back to the industry forever. I mean, he was still around. Relatively recently, right? Giving guys game, putting them on game. And, when you lose somebody like that, you lose an encyclopedia.
Yeah, man. There again, like I said, it's going to be a lot of guys, man, saying the same thing that we're saying right now. There again, God, and you just give him a safe landing, man, because he's all about bumping. He's all about bumping, man. So just give him a soft landing. And there again, we're going to miss Pat Patterson for many, many years.